Buenas tardes, YouTube. Welcome to Better Monday Fasting, my YouTube channel about fasting. In this video, I'll be going over the third technique to get started with our fasting experience. I've already shot the first two techniques, so in this video I'll go over the third one. Before getting started, I just want to give a disclaimer. Nothing in this video or on the channel is medical advice. I'm sharing my own experience. I've been fasting since 2016. I've done a lot of fasting sessions, and fasting has become a lifestyle for me. It has become a lifestyle, and it made me become a better version of myself. Fasting is also guiding me through life, because with fasting, I believe that I'm making better decisions. So yeah, it's a really holistic master tool, like fasting. It's just amazing. I mean, it starts with the physical, then we start getting like healthier physically. Then mentally, we start making better decisions. We start to know who we are, and then third step, the spiritual. We attempt to answer like big questions of life. What are we doing on this planet, and so on. And so I want to share my experience of fasting. So in order to fight, like we have to start somewhere, right? So I already went. I put the links below on the two previous videos, the two techniques. So the first technique was about like going really progressively, like first assess our fasting window, and progressively throughout the weeks and months extend our fasting window, and once in a while rest from fasting to gain strength, and continue like to extend that fasting, our fasting capacity. So that was the first technique. The second technique, it's a little bit more, it can be a little bit more challenging, but we can get faster results and really find out where our limits are. And so the second technique, it consists of picking a day when we have a low responsibilities, no commitments, and after we wake up, on top of the 8 hours of fasting during sleep, we keep fasting until we start experiencing symptoms, and we try to bite the bullet with the symptoms as much as we can. And when it starts becoming unbearable, we make a decision to either like continue fasting, challenge ourselves more, or interrupt the fasting. Then we write down how many hours we have fasted, and we go back to our comfort zone. So any further ado, the third technique. So this one I come up with while I was writing the book, because I mean the second technique, it can be pretty harsh. That's the one I did, and it was really, I faced very violent symptoms. And the first one is the nice thing about the first one, it can be integrated in our routine easily, but one needs like organization and discipline So I come up with this third technique for maybe people that are still like, maybe they don't have enough confidence to jump into fasting. So the third technique consists of following a very simple rule, which is we don't eat unless we're hungry. So if we're not hungry, we don't eat. So the biggest challenge here is going to be maybe on a social level. Like you got to kind of forget the routine with regards to food. You got to forget about breakfast and get together with the family for dinner, like all that. Like you have to, you kind of forget about when you usually eat, and then start listening to our body for to know when the body is signaling us that it's hungry, we eat, and if not, we don't eat. We just keep fasting. So we're gonna avoid snacking. So we're gonna avoid snacking, and we're not gonna eat. If we're not hungry, we don't eat. So what I love about this system is just that early on, it teaches us how to listen to our body, and that's the biggest skill I think with fasting. It's the whole like learning how to listen to what the body wants to express. And it might sound abstract, you know, if you're eating 3 times a day and you snack in between, you eat 5-6 times a day. So the analogy I have is like you're having a conversation with someone, and if there's one person who's always speaking, the second person won't have a chance to express herself. And with the modern society, that's a little bit what's going on with ourselves and the body. So we are constantly giving the body food. So the body is like it's always like processing food, and it cannot like express what it needs. We're just giving more work to do. And for the liver, it's like more like, I always like have this image of like a state function, like somebody is working for the state, having like folders of folders to process, and the folders are piling up on the desk. You know, that's what the liver and the body is going through. So yeah, so with that technique, we're gonna train early on how to listen to our body, because the master skill is with fasting is to learn. So once we're gonna leave the body alone, like first we're gonna go through some symptoms for some like initial cleansing, some painful moments with symptoms, but then little by little the body is gonna it's gonna experience a better situation. So now it's like the body is like it's cleaner. So when you're gonna start like putting bad things into your body, like the body's gonna be like, no, I don't want that. Give me the clean stuff. Or if you haven't, you got into the habit of fasting, and it was beneficial for the body, and then you stop fasting for a while, so the body is gonna request, like, give me more fasting. That was good, and those are, it's very subtle like messages. Obviously, I mean, the body is not gonna start talking to you in English, or it's not a language, but you're gonna develop like that skill that is listening to the body. And because also when we are fasting, we it can be sometimes be a little depressive, but when we're not eating, we're like especially the first so we're gonna become more sensitive. We're gonna become more sensitive, and we're gonna become like emotionally, but also we're gonna become more sensitive to how we feel, you know. There's all these like it's like shades of color, you know, shades of gray. Like it's not like I feel good, I feel bad, but there's all these like and little by little, like the body is gonna if we keep fasting and completing like the fasting cycles, we're gonna have a better understanding of what the body needs, and we're gonna act upon it. And then it's a little bit like a trial and error, where you're gonna try what, like the body is expressing something, you're unsure, you're like, probably I need more rest, or I need to increase the fasting, I need to eat more vegetable. I mean, it can be different things. Like when you're unsure between two options, you have to try and see what happens. And then little by little, like, I mean, I'm to the point where, like, my body, like I do the 18-6, it's kind of my baseline. But sometimes, you know, I feel like it's maybe time to eat. Like I've done my 18 hours of intermittent fasting, but I can feel that my body is like, oh, you know what, not now. Like, wait a couple hours more. It's probably doing its thing. And sometimes I break my fast earlier, or when I do the 36 to 42 hour fast. That's also like, sometimes I like to break it early, sometimes I go up to 40, 42, sometimes even more, 44. So all that, like all that information, like the body starts like communicating what it needs. So with this technique, the third technique, it's very simple. We're just going to only eat when we feel hungry, and if we're not going to eat. We're not going to snack in between meals. Really, like the function of eating is going to be to nourish the body, and then while we eat, we're going to try to stick with whole foods. Like we're going to try to avoid all the processed foods, and we're going to stick with whole foods. Then it depends, if you're on a particular diet, you can follow that, but try to stay on the healthy side of things. So I think that the most challenging, I mean, this is the easiest, I think, the technique, and also it can be, if you're like the two other techniques, if they're a little bit daunting, this one can be good for as an intermediary step. So you do this one for a while, get a feel of when actually you really need to eat, you know, not when society tells you when to eat, but when actually you really need to eat to stay alive, so your body can do its functions, you know. So, and then you can once you've done this for a while, then maybe you can jump to the first technique or the second one. So this technique is pretty easy. It's not it's easier than the other two, in my opinion, but the biggest challenge with this technique, it's going to be the social aspect. It's really that's where fasting is. It's one of the biggest challenges. It's the social aspect, and that can be difficult. I mean, I'm lucky to be. I'm a solitary nomadic guy, and I've been living in Latin America for the past 8 years as a nomad. So if I do something weird, sometimes I walk shirtless, I walk barefoot. I mean, people are just like, oh, he's a foreigner. So I don't have a family here. I don't have. I mean, I make friends as I go. So it's pretty easy for me to. It's pretty easy for me to try all those things and change my habits. But if you have a family, if you have a spouse, and you have like a set time for breakfast, and maybe the dinner time is the only time you get together with your family, and all those things, yeah, it's gonna be more challenging. So one thing you could do is to communicate with people that you want to fast, and that and this is the technique you've chosen, and you're gonna try, and hopefully they'll be respectful with your decision, you know. And now I'm on pretty busy avenue. Yeah, maybe this is not the most ideal place to shoot a video for YouTube. Let's see, it's Sunday, so usually this avenue is really busy with cars. It's Avenida España. Yeah, so the problem with our society is that, I mean, in my opinion, I see it as a problem. It's that we use food for, I mean, food should, like, the purpose of like food is to nourish the body, and so, I mean, it's the fuel for the body, so we can keep going, you know. And then also the pleasure we get out of it, it stimulates hormones, and, you know, it makes us feel good, and I mean, I respect that too. And to a certain extent, the social aspect too. I mean, even like our ancestor, like they'll gather around the fire and eat. Like, I have respect for all that. But the thing is, like, we're depressed, we eat. We want to see our friends. Like, for example, in the U.S., if a guy calls another guy and is like, "Hey, I'd like to see you," I mean, it's gonna sound really weird, you know. It's gonna sound awkward. Yeah, why you want to see me? Because I miss you. No, it's like, "Hey, dude, you want to have a beer? Hey, dude, you want to have coffee? Hey, you want to catch a game?" Like, you always have to consume something to get together. So, and families is just like, maybe they have nothing, like they have nothing to say to each other, but if you say, "Hey, we're going to so and so restaurant," everybody's excited because of the food, not to see each other. So that's a little bit of the problem. Like, we load way too much, we put way too much responsibility on food for other things, you know. Like, if you're dating, you know, you went on a date, yeah, you're not gonna be, so you're gonna go maybe for dinner. You're gonna go for dinner, and then you're gonna go for a drink or something, and like, then you're gonna be like, "Hey, you wanna come over? I have I have matcha tea, or I have a bottle of wine," or like, there's always gonna be an excuse. Like, if you say, "Hey, you just wanna come over," so we can get intimate, yeah, it's not gonna work. Like, so it's always like this. It's a perversion, actually. Like, we're perverting like food for other agendas, and as long as you know it and you enjoy for what it is, it's okay. But the thing is, like, everything you put inside your mouth has a consequence in your body. So everything you put in your mouth is it's gonna have consequences on the short, mid, and long term. So better, put some thought into that, and not only what you eat, but fasting is all about organizing when we eat. It's not calorie restriction. It's not dieting. Fasting, it's just the organization, you know, because people are always, when I tell them about my schedule, that I wake up, I work, I go to the gym, I go to the sauna, I work more, and then all that good stuff before eating, and they're like, oh my God, how you do it and stuff. But the thing they don't know is like, how you do all that with one meal. Yeah, well, my one meal, it's maybe my one meal equals 3 meals. You know, sometimes I eat a lot on that one meal. Again, I listen to my body. Sometimes I don't eat that much, but if I've been working out, like the body needs, like I might eat a lot, and sometimes if I get the message that the body doesn't need that much, well, I eat less. So yeah, really, fasting is the organization of the timing, and it makes the whole difference, because if the body is busy doing its repair and cleansing work, and you're getting on the way, you know. So that's the problem. So that's why the fasting has to be continuous, so you can get. So you cannot say, you know, like for example, like you fast for 4 hours, you eat something. You fast for 4 hours, you eat something. You fast for another 4 hours, you eat something. You cannot say, oh, I fasted for 12 hours. No, it has to be in a continuum. It has to be continuous, so it can get so the body can get the work done. It's a little bit like when you do maintenance on the road. So imagine the cars are food, and the road, the freeway, it's your body. So first you have to stop the cars, you know, so we can do maintenance. So we can do maintenance on the road. And you know, if you only close the freeway at night for maintenance, you're gonna be doing some work, but it's gonna be limited, you know. But if the city tells you, now you can close the freeway, you can close the freeway for a week, well, you can get more done. And it's exactly the same way with fasting. Like, so that's why we want to tend towards extending our fasting hours, because more we're gonna extend our fasting hours, deeper the body can be involved in deeper type of work. Okay, so that's for the third technique. So the third technique is really straightforward. So I went also through some other basics of fasting. So I'll put the links on all the 3 videos on each video. I'll put the links below of the 2 other techniques. So if you're interested, so yeah, again, nothing is medical advice. Do your own research. Fasting has changed my life in a very, very positive way. So I wanted to share. And in order to start the adventure, we have to start somewhere. So those are the 3 techniques to get started. So thank you for watching the video. I hope I see you soon on this channel for another video. Have a good one.